Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Hey guys. What's up? Hey everyone, Leo, Akia, Andrea. Forward to this race in your PJs. Nice, yes, an evening race for us Europeans, which is quite nice to be fair. Hello, 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 hello. My first stream as a proud new dad, guys. Cheers. My first stream. Ah, it feels good. Feels good. It's nice to have a bit of a break. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. Yes, little one is doing well. She's currently sleeping. Mrs. is looking after her. So, yes, I don't know if you can see bags under my eyes or not. Can you? Maybe. I got a good night's sleep last night, actually. But yeah, how's the wife? How's the baby? She's doing brilliant. Yeah, doing absolutely amazing. So recovering really well. We had an unexpected cesarean, yeah, took us a bit by surprise, but baby's healthy, Mrs. is healthy, and everything has been going swimmingly well. So thank you guys. Yeah, it's good. It's a weird experience, really. It's weird because I don't know, maybe because I'm accepting of the change, and because obviously we knew for a long time like baby was planned and so forth. I don't know. Feels like not a lot doesn't feel like it's been a massive disruption to my life. That saying though, I'm not back at work yet, so maybe it will be when I'm back at work. But yeah, it doesn't feel strange, really. It feels strange saying I'm a dad and I have a daughter. That's the strangest thing. But the actual like day-to-day of things doesn't feel strange at all. It feels normal. So, but yeah, thank you guys, thank you. But yes, who is ready for F1? It feels like it's been forever. 3 weeks. 3 weeks since we had a last race at Singapore. We're about to head into the first of 2 triple headers to end the season here at Circuit the Americas. I'm just waiting for the data to go live. It's not on live as of yet, but yeah, interesting to see what the race has in store for us this weekend. Sprint race as well. We have sprint qualifying this evening, so don't worry, life is ended and it will not change until age 30 of the child. Yeah, I know, Mark. I know. So the baby is what? I've had a little girl. 3 years, mate, since the last race. I know. You always looked at me as I'm a proud parent to you all in F1 related terms. But did I cut the cord? I did, Andy. So a little bit of a fun fact for you guys. I'm not the best when it comes to needles, and I've never been in surgery before. I've never had any surgery. The only time I've ever seen like surgical stuff is when I've been watching TV and there's like a hospital drama on TV. This was my first time in any form of theatre, and I went in there and it's very kind of like off-putting, and the missus was getting obviously anaesthetic applied to her and so forth, and while I didn't see it be applied, I knew what was happening, and I came over a bit all lightheaded and I had to lie down on the floor. The doctors were like, get down on the floor because we're not picking you up. So I had to lie down on the floor, have some biscuits, get my blood sugar levels up, and then I was okay. But I was kind of munching biscuits throughout the cesarean to keep my blood sugar levels up so that I couldn't basically pass out. So yeah. Manifesting Lando DNF. Lando DNF. Oh. That must have been a big shot going in there. It was, yeah. It all happened quite quickly because we went in for kind of a routine midwife appointment, and then they sent us for a checkup because they saw something they didn't quite like, and then it, yeah, kind of spiraled out of control. The hospital we went to was absolutely brilliant. Everyone was great. The missus was very calm and relaxed. I was as well, but until that point. But yeah, no, it was, thankfully everyone got home safe and sound. We had to stay in hospital for a little while to be monitored and so forth. Not me, I was fine, but the missus and the baby, and yeah, we're all home safe and sound. So right, here we go. Let's head to the data. It really truly is, yeah. Women, what they have to go through with childbirth and stuff. Yeah, we men have it very easy. Very easy. Which is why I've tried to obviously help out and be supportive as much as I can. But right, here we go. So, oh, this is such an awkward track shape, isn't it? Where am I going to put chat? We're going to put chat. Sorry, guys, going to have to make you a bit smaller. Stick you guys here. Because this is a real awkward track shape, isn't it? Goes something like that, I think. Something like that. Bosh. Ready. Glad to see me live again. Thanks, Ranvir. How do I think Lawson's first race will go down? I think he'll do well. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It all depends on the car. Lawson's main objective is just to beat Sonoda. He's kind of openly said that. He's eyeing for the second Red Bull seat next year. Who knows what they'll do with Sergio Perez. All depends on the amount of cash, but I guess he's thrown Red Bull's way from Carlos Slim and his sponsors. But yeah, Lawson's primary focus is to beat his teammate. That's it. If he can sneak a couple of points, happy days, but the RB car isn't the strongest. So yeah, he needs to beat Sonoda, and if he does, then he could get that second seat. That's perfect for chat. Yeah, that's all we needed. Missing the honey badger already? Nah. F1 doesn't stick around. Can I rotate the track? Unfortunately, I can't, Mark. That's the most frustrating thing about this, is that I can't. Yeah, there's no option. I can only resize it. There's a lot of dead space here, which is kind of quite frustrating. Or actually, maybe if I do that... Hang on, let's put it down a bit. And then maybe if I move chat over here... Ah, that's a bit better. It's a bit lower. Let me know if you guys prefer that. Let me know if you guys prefer that. Hey, Brad. Trying to stay awake. It's currently 1:23 here. Oof. That's better. Cool. Nice to see me back, and yeah, thanks for the kind well wishes, guys. My most liked post ever. The baby photo. So yeah, big thank you. Stroll fucks into the McLaren Lando. Max wins. You're assuming Lance Stroll is going to start far enough up the grid to worry Max Verstappen or Lando Norris, sorry. But yes, guys, practice starts in 7 minutes' time, or just under 7 minutes on the half-hour mark. If you're unaware of what is occurring this weekend, because, I mean, I wouldn't blame you. It's been 3 weeks, so we've had like an autumn-fall break. We have a triple header. This is the first of 3 races that we have in the American swing. We head to Circuit of the Americas here this weekend. It is a sprint race weekend, so we have sprint qualifying after FP1, so there is a meaningful session that we need to cover this evening. Then we have the sprint race tomorrow, of course, qualifying tomorrow for the Sunday race and race on Sunday. Then we head to Mexico, then Brazil. Brazil was also a sprint race, and then we have another week break, and then we have another triple header to end the season. So let's make my beautiful self larger, shall we? Now we've readjusted things. Don't worry, I'll be out of the way. There we go. Looks good from the other way. Watch out, someone might get dive bombed. Yeah, just like me into turn 1, eh? Move the track a little to the right. I can do kinda. The thing is, I want to leave this corner obviously open here, because this is the main overtaking opportunity, of course, to exit from turn 11 down to turn 12. But let's see. McLaren got a lot of updates here this weekend. They've brought another big update package. So they're going all out for this championship. It's definitely within their grasp, I think, even with a 52-point gap for Lando Norris between Max Verstappen. I mean, I have run 2 separate polls, actually, and it's interesting. 62% of you in this poll, in the chat, or in the stream, think Lando will win the World Championship or can win it. And then I did run another poll and it was kind of flipped on its head where most people thought Lando will not be able to win the championship. But yeah, Red Bull only have two kind of minor updates here this weekend. Of course, the big news is about their device that they had inside the car. To alter the front bib, so kind of like the front nose height, so the front of the floor, front edge of the floor. So yeah, really interesting interview actually with Zach Brown just now on Sky Sports, where he stated that they are the only team that include that device on the inside of their car. Every other team has it on the outside, and they are not confident really that the reason why it was brought to the FIA's attention is that they're not confident that the only team to do that has it on the inside of the car is because they'd be using it for kind of nefarious reasons, hence the potential to change it in Parc Fermé. Yeah, while there's no actual evidence of them being able to do that because it's very difficult to kind of prove, why would you put that on the inside of the car rather than externally when you've got 9 other teams who have put it externally? So, interesting. Hey Rev, good to see ya. Glad F1's back. I want to probably force someone to install one. Mercedes will win this race. You saw it in your dream. I kind of hope not. I do want Lando to win this race because I want there to be a Drivers' World Championship. I said it last time out of Singapore. I want Lando to eat into Verstappen's gap so that we come to the end of the season, at least the last couple of races, and we have a championship. Pardon me, a championship battle on our hands. That's ultimately what I want. So. Fit Perez announcement retirement at MGP. So I do kind of believe it. Yes, I don't think he'll announce his retirement. I don't think he's going to retire after the Mexico Grand Prix. I mean, he'll probably announce it. It's been a rumor for quite some time earlier on in the season as well, even before his seat was up for debate. So yeah, I mean. The source that that's come from is Joe Saywood, and whatever you may have opinion-wise on Joe Saywood, he is a long-term reputable journalist who has been going up and down the paddock for like decades, and he only really puts these sort of information out there once he knows he has got it from a reputable source. So yeah. Whether it happens or not, look, retirement announcements, drivers can go back on announcing their retirement daily, can't they? But he's clearly heard that from someone reputable, and he trusts them for him to put that in his blog. So, yeah, we'll see. FP1 starts in just under 2 minutes, guys. Just under 2 minutes, and we'll have cars out on track. McLaren needs to be focused on Lando winning the Drivers' Championship. Yes, they do, Bevo. So I did read that McLaren, while they have a brand new front wing here this weekend, they have only one version of it. So both drivers will be testing that for this weekend, but it will end up on Lando's car. So there you go. That's kind of a statement of where they're prioritising their driver, or drivers, shall we say. Of course, Max Verstappen doesn't want them to prioritise Lando. He put out a little comment, didn't he? A bit of a feeler out there in the interviews yesterday saying, I don't think they should prioritise Piastri. He's not a number 2. I don't see Piastri as a number 2 driver. It's like, of course you don't, because the more Piastri gets in the way and trips over his own teammate, the better it is for your chances in the championship. So if Perez retires, what would he do? Become an ambassador of something or other? Yeah, I don't know, Mark. Maybe he'll try and... Yeah, maybe we'll go into something of like trying to get more South American drivers, more Mexican drivers into F1, maybe. Maybe that's what he'll try and do. You never know. Obviously, he has very powerful connections in regards to Carlos Slim and lots of sponsors and so forth. But here we are. Green light. Pit exit is open. We are go for this US Grand Prix weekend. Yes, I know we have 3 Grand Prix now in the United States, but this is a true US Grand Prix. This was the first one. Circuit of the Americas was here first. I know it wasn't the first ever US Grand Prix, but you know what I mean, in modern F1 at least. So, yes, here we go, guys. Cars out on track. Lando Norris, as he was in Singapore last time out, is the first driver to take the lead out there. And we see lots of drivers on the hard compound tyre. So, yes, this is their one and only practice session here this weekend. Of course, they are now allowed to change setup between the sprint race and qualifying tomorrow. No longer are they stuck with the same setup throughout the duration of the weekend. But even so, this is their only session that they're able to kind of really gather data on particular sets of tyres. So if someone crashes and brings out a red flag, then that cuts down into that time. So yeah, let's see who is going to be strong. Are McLaren still going to be the team to beat? Have Red Bull made any improvements over the 3-week period that they have been afforded? Of course, this season, which not many kind of really expected. So, yeah, let's see. But a busy circuit. Only Tsunoda, Zhou and Lawson yet to come out on this circuit. And actually, Lawson's about to come out on the circuit now. And interestingly enough, that last stake F1 seat is not yet been announced, is it? Still don't know who is going to be in that seat. So, only seat still up for grabs for 2025. Thoughts of moving the fastest lap for next season? I think it's a bit bullshit because we saw in 2021 how interesting it was. I don't know. I've never really been a fan of it, to be honest with you. I thought when it was initially introduced, I was like, that's a bit... I don't know. I think it's become a bit gimmicky, to be honest. And I think it just... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was never really a big fan of it in the first place, so I'm not too disappointed to see it be removed. So yeah, will it be streaming the sprint quali? Of course we will be. Of course we will be. Yeah, we'll be back in a couple of hours time after this FP1 session for the sprint quali. We'll be here for every single session this weekend. So, and for the remainder of the season as well. Of course, normally I miss FP1 because it's during the middle of my working day. But because we're in the evening races on this current triple header, I'll be able to make every single session for you guys. Have a great race weekend, everyone from upstate New York. Nice. Bro, it's 11 PM here. Miss all the lives. No! Stay up, stay up. Drink some, have a coffee. Have an energy drink. Any ideas on who'll get the second Sauber seat? I think it's edging more towards Valtteri Bottas. Because Audi aren't coming into F1 until 2026. So I think Stake F1 or whoever, I don't know how much influence at the moment Audi currently have over the drivers in Stake F1. So, I mean, Hulkenberg's been signed, but has he been signed? I can't remember if he's actually been signed by Audi. You know, same with whoever signs in that second seat. Maybe they'll chuck a youngster in there. I'm not sure. But I think it's looking at maybe Valtteri Bottas being renewed for another year. And then there may be potentially a new driver in there for 2026. What do I think about Toyota coming back to F1 with Haas? Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, it's a weird partnership, isn't it? They're kind of not coming in fully. They're using Haas as... They're lending their technical expertise, if that's right. It's like a technical partnership. So Toyota engineers are going to be able to learn and apply their trade in F1 with Haas. They're not actually supplying them any parts. It's more so like they're lending them their minds and their knowledge, not actual physical parts, to the team. So, but yeah, I mean, look, it's great to see Toyota back in F1 in some capacity, and it could be a step towards them returning fully, maybe. Or with like a more influential partnership, shall we say, in regards to creating parts again. So 1 point for pole would be better. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just more so about race day being race day. That's where it matters. Race day is where all the points should be won and lost. And fastest lap, I just thought became a bit gimmicky. I get it puts more emphasis and a bit more excitement on people coming in, but and putting on newer tyres and so forth, but I don't know. I just found it to be a bit gimmicky and a bit trivial, really. Like Sergio Perez has complained about it, and it's like, well, of course Sergio Perez has complained about fastest lap being removed because That's the only way sometimes he's able to contribute to Max Verstappen's championship, is when he's out of position and hits on for new tyres and takes fastest lap. So, yeah. What's evening races for you? More like 3 a.m. here. We've had our fair share of 3 a.m. starts, so don't worry. I know how you feel, Ramv. Finally, races are back. Yes, Marianne, good to see you. Any what GP do I think McLaren takes a penalty for an engine change? Next sprint, maybe. Yeah, I think they'll take it at maybe Brazil, a sprint race weekend. It'd be smart to take it at a sprint race weekend because sprints, there's less points you can lose. It's only a single point down to P8, is it? I think the top 8 score points. So from first to second, so you score 10 points for coming first, and then it's 9th for second, 8th for third, etc. There's no big points gap differences. Whereas if you take it on a race weekend, let's say they take it at Mexico, I mean, you're starting on the grid for race day where the big points matter further back, which you don't want to do. So yeah, I think they'll take it maybe Brazil, and then they've got, that's the last race of this triple header, and then they've got a fresh engine going into the last 3 races of the season. Whereas Red Bull have already taken that penalty. They can't take a brand new engine. If they do, they'd end up at the back of the grid because that penalty kind of doubles, I believe, once you've already taken an engine penalty. So yeah, Red Bull are already kind of using an engine that will be down on horsepower compared to McLaren. So scrap it, just race of points available. The probably scrapped it because of Ricciardo at Singapore. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, look, Red Bull have, there's no way that Daniel Ricciardo went out there for a glory run for a fastest lap. No, they used him tactically to take a fastest lap point away from Lando Norris. Whether they specifically instructed Ricciardo to do that, I probably don't think so. I think it's more so that it's a de facto rule that's in place that if you can take fastest lap at the end of the race and take it away from a rival, you do so, especially if you're not in points. And I think that's what RB did. Wow, 1,000th of a second between Lawrence and the Leclerc. So of course, we've all been talking about McLaren, we've all been talking about Red Bull. What about Ferrari and Mercedes? They're going to be very important in the running for this championship because while we do expect McLaren to still be the fastest car and maybe see Norris convert these wins maybe in dominant fashion like we saw in Singapore, it's all about whether or not if Verstappen can finish directly behind Norris. Will Piastri get ahead of Verstappen? Will the Ferraris have enough in the tank? Have they made enough improvements towards the end of the season? We've seen that they're no slouches. Arguably, if Leclerc had a better qualifying, if they'd got their tyres up to temperature, Leclerc could have been on that front row and potentially taken it to Lando Norris on the Sunday. I think he was definitely quicker than Verstappen. I think he was probably the second fastest car on the grid. But the Ferraris can get in between Max, so can the Mercedes as well. And that's going to be key to this championship battle. And of course, Lando gaining more points on Max, but of course he needs towards the end of the season. Although Verstappen's gone fastest in the first sector, 25.7 from him. See how he gets on. Evening Pill. Fitzmaster have to drive life on the line to be P2. 100%. Yeah, exactly. 100%. I don't see Max finishing P2 in every single race in the final 6 races and the sprint races as well. So there's technically 35 points on offer this weekend. Let's say Max obviously it probably won't happen. It probably never happened. Let's say Max finished DNF'd the sprint race and he DNF'd the main race and Lando won both. That's a 35-point swing. So that's what's on offer in the sprint races for Norris to gain. But of course, it's very unlikely that Max, especially with reliability, as he goes to the top of the timing sheets as it currently stands with 10 minutes in this FP1 session, I'll be very surprised to see Red Bull DNF. How am I commentating FP1? Is it due to time zones? What do you mean by that? I'm commentating FP1 because it's FP1. No, nothing really to do with time zones. It's even time for me. If Lawson beats Perez, false. If Lawson beats Perez, I don't know. I don't think whether Lawson beats Perez has any kind of meaning behind it, to be honest with you. It's more so whether or not Lawson beats Tsunoda. It's about whether or not Lawson can beat his teammate. That's the key thing for Lawson between now and the end of the season, or at least show enough that he can beat Tsunoda to the end of the season. I don't even think he needs to beat Tsunoda because he's already got a whole season well, he's got 3/4 of a season under his belt already. Tsunoda, Lawson's coming back in, he needs to freshen up, and it might take him 1 or 2 races to get up to speed again. So we'll see. But if Lawson is within reason, there's a yellow flag. Gasly gone off at turn 1. Is that a spin for Gasly? We've seen spinners there at turn 1 before. There's plenty of room at turn 1, and yes, that did look like that Gasly had just taken a spin through turn 1 there. It wasn't a good race for Gasly last year, I don't believe. I think he actually retired from the race, just watching the TV coverage. Oh, yes. Yeah, I don't normally stream FP1. So it's because of time zones. It's evening time for me here in the UK, Mercedes. So, yeah, that's... you are very correct there. Yeah, I don't normally stream FP1. Sleepy right now. It's 10:40 p.m. Take a coffee. Caffeine. Nice espresso shot, Ibs. Or an energy drink, a Monster, a Red Bull, whatever is available in your country. A suitable alternative. Hey, Steve-O. Oh, thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. What do I think of Toyota coming back? Yeah, I just mentioned, actually. Yeah, their partnership is a technical partnership. Oh, yes. Oh, no, it wasn't. Okay, that's just really thrown me. I thought that was Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri had spun at turn 1 there. Their car is papaya, isn't it, this weekend? Have you seen the Alpine livery? It's like, oh God, I just thought, hang on a second, why has Lando and Oscar spun it there? And it is tragic, CD. I know colours aren't necessarily trademarked, but I'm surprised McLaren haven't copyright striked the Alpine livery, to be honest with you, because I genuinely thought one of the McLarens had spun there. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Kelly, the Alpine livery is certainly a choice. Yes, indeed it is. Pilbeam, thank you for becoming part of the pit crew. Much appreciated, buddy. I'll take a swig of my rum and coke for that, buddy. Thank you. Mountain Dew. See, we do have Mountain Dew here in the UK, but it's not at the top of our choice. I mean, we kind of get it. I don't think it's available in supermarkets. I think you could only get it in corner shops. Kind of says a lot, really. Why has Hamilton not put a lap in? He has put a lap in. He's obviously down in P18 at the moment because he's probably got a lot of fuel on the car and he's probably doing some testing. They've got a lot of new parts on the car here this weekend as well, Mercedes. So no doubt Hamilton is out there doing some runs at the moment to gather some important data for the team. No doubt he'll speed up at some point. But the fact you can see Ocon there up in P5 says a lot. So Alpine really trying anything to be quicker now, yeah. Confused if I should stay awake for sprint or study for tomorrow's exam. In all honesty, Ibs, if you've got an exam tomorrow, and I'm going to sound like your dad now, because I am a dad, I'm getting my dad hat on. Sprint qualifying, you don't really need to pay too much attention. If you're going to miss a session this weekend, I mean, I would say miss FP1, but miss sprint qualifying. Because you can check the results of sprint qualifying tomorrow, and then you can catch up with the race once you've got your exam and everything out of the way and done with. So focus on your exams, buddy. Don't see Lando winning every single race. McLaren as a team not on that level yet on strategy. Yeah, I mean, look, it's down to Lando really, and within his driving capabilities to remove that strategy element away from McLaren. I think Lando has the belief in himself now and has the pace in the car to win races, win every single race. And if he doesn't have confidence in the McLaren strategy, well, he needs to remove that. He needs to remove that lack of belief so that he's so far ahead that he has a free pit stop to the cars behind, or they at least know, yeah. Oh, actually, wow. The reason Hamilton is down in 18th, by the way, is because Lewis had an unbelievable spin through the S's. He had an unbelievable spin. He was going past one of the Haas cars, and maybe he got a big wash of dirty air. And Lewis, wow. That is a... Whoa. Hamilton, great control from Lewis, actually. Very good control from Lewis. But have a look at that on Twitter, guys. No doubt that'll be all over Twitter right now. But yeah, that's why Lewis is down in 18th at the moment. He's currently in the pits. Stuffey Jr. for Audi, yeah. Going exactly is. We'll see you tomorrow, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow. Congrats. When will we see Stuffey Jr., Raven? Maybe when she's older. Yeah, maybe when she's older. So I'm keeping her away kind of from... I'm not the sort of person to really... show kids and stuff online, or like everyone to their own choice, but what I do here is what I do, and I will be getting her into motorsport and F1, that is for sure, and sim racing and so forth, but yeah, I'll be keeping her kind of away from the camera, shall we say. Toyota losing a lot to Honda in terms of engineering and marketing. I think Toyota are going to set up a Japanese driver academy too. Ah, okay, that'd be interesting. Yeah, sorry, to touch on that again, we did mention it's more like a technical partnership, isn't it, that Toyota have got with Haas. So maybe it's their first step of dipping the toe back in. So yeah, it'd be good to see them back in eventually, but the problem is that at the moment it's a franchise model, isn't it? That they're not going to allow any team back into F1, so Toyota would have to purchase a team as it currently stands. As there's another spinner, George Russell has spun it into turn one there. So we've seen a spin from both the both the Mercedes, it seems, as George Russell unable to get going again, it seems, out of turn one. We'll see if he's just waiting for those cars to go through before he gets going again. And yes, indeed it is. Very good driving etiquette there from George Russell. No poor rejoins here in F1. The premiere of motorsport, guys. As it should be, privacy is the best. Yeah, exactly, Camille. So that's kind of my outlook on things. Evening, Graham. I'm very good, thank you. Hope you're doing well, man. Lando has grown in confidence since his second win. And that's the thing. I think he's got good confidence, and I think he believes in himself now, Lando. You kind of see that come across in interviews as well. And I think, yeah, I think it is his to lose, to be honest with you. I really do, because while it is technically still mathematically out of his hands, because of Max Verstappen, if he finishes second in every single race between now and the end of the season, he will win still, I think, even including sprint races. I could be wrong there. But, yeah, I highly doubt that... I highly doubt that Max will will finish second or directly behind Lando in every single race. Why is it Merc so dominant in first part and not really performing? What do you mean dominant in first part, AJ? Yes, sir, we're back. We're back racing. Suspect Haas will sell to Honda in a few years' time. Yeah, but not Honda, Toyota. Yeah, that's what I think potentially could happen. I'm just watching the replay. George Russell down into turn one, and he went very wide, and then, yeah, the rear just went round on him, similar to what the Alpine did. So bearing in mind this weekend, guys, it is a brand new track surface here at Circuit of the Americas. So last year, the track was very bumpy. I don't think it had been relayed since its initial conception initial conception and creation. So they've relayed it this year. So we'll see what effect that has on the strategy and on the tyres here this weekend. It could really throw things out of kilter. Tyres, as we know, could last an absolute age, or they could completely degrade. Who knows? Maybe we could see some surprises in regards to performance, well, due to the smoothness of the circuit. But from what we've seen, early stages, George Russell only slightly offline into turn one, a bit of a wider line into turn one. As soon as they've got the steering angle into the car, the rear has come round on them. So we'll see if that's a feature that rears its ugly head throughout the duration of this practice session, with 40 minutes remaining, and of course sprint qualifying and the sprint race, and yeah, the duration of this week. Hey, it's your little brother and I always watching me YouTube. Oh, thank you, buddy. Yeah, I had a shocker of a race yesterday in the Super Formula Lights. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Of course, still some F1 opinionated content out as well. You can see my thoughts on the whole Red Bull situation that I posted yesterday, and I have some more videos coming soon. Probably talking about qualies for Merc. I mean, they really did rig in the first part of the season. Yeah, I mean, that's just development, really, AJ. So I think that I don't particularly think Mercedes have been strong throughout the course of this season. They've been strong when the conditions have suited them. That's the thing. So Mercedes really need cooler conditions. They need certain track conditions, certain wind conditions to ensure that their car performs. They've got a very small window still of pure performance, which puts them at the chance of winning. And we saw that at Spa. We saw that at, of course, Silverstone. Seen it a couple of races where they've performed quite well. Hungaroring as well. So there's a very small window where their car operates well, and I'm not sure we're going to see that small window appear between now and the end of the season. And of course, they're still behind in development. Their car is still, they're still arguably a year behind in development, behind Red Bull, behind McLaren in particular now. So they really change your life for the better. That's my outlook, Greg. Yeah. I mean, look, at the moment, thus far, my sleep schedule is okay, it's manageable. Me and the missus are very open, of course, and always have been to change, and accepted our lives will change. But yeah, as you say, change for the better. Turn down the backing track. Is the backing track too loud, guys? You let me know. Are you still more into big SFF, or do I need some races to bump into you? I'm still more into the big SF, yeah. Yeah, I only did an SF Lights one this week because it was a bit of a higher participation, but mostly the big SF. Any red flags, crashes? No, a couple of spins. We've had George Russell spin. We've had Lewis Hamilton spin for the S's. A big one from him. Luckily, he went straight across the S's and not to the side. Then we have Pierre Gasly in the shocking papaya livery that they've got, but made me think it was a McLaren that spun. Also into turn one, similar to George Russell. So yeah, we've had a few spins. Background music a tad loud. We'll turn it down. Is that better, guys? Is that a bit better? How many more kids? Oh god, I won't be thinking about. I'd like to have 2, ideally, but yeah, that won't be happening for a few more years yet. Probably another 4 years or so when that one's into school and I don't have to pay double childcare. Whenever Sergio places in the top 5 or 6 FP1 2, usually Red Bull has a stronger car in that race. So at the moment, he is P7. No problem, no bod. I need to finish your name. No bod. No problem, no bod. Yeah, Lewis spun, Levy. Lewis spun through. So he went through turn 3, and there was a Haas on his inside out here, and I think that Haas was thrown off quite a bit of dirty air, caught Lewis Hamilton out, and he spun the car. So he's had to come in and pit. So did a proper job, yeah. Is the DRS shorter this year? Good question, Ethan. I don't know. I'll have to research if the DRS is shorter. I'll have a research between this session and sprint quali to see if that is the case. Will it be shorter? I don't think so. I think it's always been quite good, the distance of DRS here. I wouldn't say it's too powerful. You have to remember last year we did see drivers go side by side down into turn 12. So and the dirty air is still a factor following for the S's and so forth. So I think the DRS is good. I mean, we had 2 DRS zones through turn 11 to 12, of course, that main back straight, and then through turn 20 to turn 1, the start finish straight. Wait until the kid is out the devil 2 to 4 years old. Yeah, no, I don't have the room as well. I mean, I currently live in a 2-bed flat. While it is a nice 2-bed flat, I don't have the room for, with this sim rig especially, I don't have the room for another child. If we did have another child, then, yeah, people have already said to me when we announced that we were having a baby, the first question that people they went, oh, what's happening to your sim rig? where's your sim rig going? What's happening to it? That's going to have to go. And I'm like, no, it bloody isn't. Thank you very much. Staying right where it is. This is my corner in the flat. My corner. The track is too high. Oh, it's not. I can't do anything else. Where it's at is as low as it can go. So. What? Sorry, you mean the backing track? The backing track is where it is. I'm not making it any lower. What about some youngsters like Porsche, Bortoleto, or even Colapinto? Salvascate, Odyssey. So I think out of any of those, it'd be Porsche. I don't think it'd be any of the other teams because, any of the other drivers, because in effect, they'd be training another driver of another team that's not going to benefit them. Sauber do have their own academy. They have Zach Maloney as well. They could potentially promote him. Bortoleto would cost them probably a lot of money to pry him away from McLaren or a loan deal, as an example. I just don't see that being a viable option for them. I'd love to see them put another youngster in, whether it be Porsche, who's still only 21, or whether it be Zach Maloney, who's currently doing well in F2. You have a driver academy for reasons to promote them into your main seat. Use it, and I hope that they do. Do I think Ferrari will overtake Red Bull in the Constructors? I do think they can. Yeah, Bubble, I do. I really do think they can. Wait until she starts scrolling. I know. Obviously, you always say this about your own child. You're like, oh, they're super smart, whatever. I do think that so she's a big baby. Over 9 pounds she was born. She's already starting to roll. She's got super strong kicks. Yeah. Genetic marvel is what I keep saying. It's my genes, you know. Yeah, I think she is going to be one of those that's like walking like before the average age. So, do I think they can actually decide who gets to win the title this year? The car is looking good. Yes, Leroy. So I do think so. I do think Ferrari and Mercedes have got a very big part to play in this championship battle. I think McLaren, of course, is still the team to beat. Will Lando win every single race between now and the end of the season? I think he can. Will he? I don't know. But the important question is whether or not he finishes enough positions ahead of Max to gain enough points in the championship, which he can still do even if he doesn't finish in first. So Ferrari are no slouches. They ended the last couple of races very strong. Should have been further up on the grid in Singapore and should have minimum finished on the podium, especially Charles Leclerc. They made an absolute balls up with their tyre warmers, and Leclerc basically came out with cold tyres. Of course, Sainz, similarly, potentially that contributed his crash as well, where his tyres went up to temp in quali. So, yeah, I think they can. Nothing to say at that point. Just wait until you can start using her for YouTube views. No, I'd never do that, Taco, as I just mentioned. Next season will be interesting with all the massive changes. Yeah, I mean, the regs aren't changing too much, but the driver lineup is definitely going to be interesting. It's always nice to have some young hotshots on the grid because they want to go out there, prove themselves. They kind of catch some of the old guard off their game, because they're not used to, well, the old guard aren't used to racing them, and the youngsters want to prove a point. So yeah, I'm really excited for next year. She'll be braking late and exiting corners fast in no time. She'll, yeah, I'll have to get her a mini setup at some point, but maybe when she's a bit older and in a house where we've got more room and I can have an actual dedicated like sim room / office. So. Who do I want to win the Constructors? I'd like to see McLaren, and I think they will do. They're in the lead now. They've got the best car. They've arguably got the best partnership with the best car at the moment. So, yeah, I think McLaren have got that sealed, and it'd be good to see their first Constructors Championship since... Was it? Did they even win the Constructors when Lewis Hamilton won the title? I think they did. Could be wrong now. Colapinto is literally learning the track. Yeah. Yeah, he is down in P20. Also, you don't know what strategies they're running. Max Verstappen fastest in the first sector again, by the way. So he's looking strong at the moment. Of course, half an hour into this session. Max Verstappen on the soft compound tyre now. So, of course, we are going straight into qualifying after this, sprint quali. So let's see what drivers will do as Perez comes out on a set of softs as well. So let's see what they have in store for us. Max 25.4 from him. Of course, he's going to go quickest in the second sector, no doubt, as well, as he's on the soft compound tyre. Leclerc and Sainz is still out there on a set of hards. Leclerc, is he going to come out on a set of softs? Come on, guys, give us something to look at in this FP1 session. Is Verstappen dragging that car around to keep up the fight with McLaren? We'll see. We'll see if they've made any improvements over the 3-week break. They only have a couple of upgrades here this weekend, or updates, shall we say. They're not actually an upgrade until they have the desired effects. As you know. So excited for next season. I think it's going to be Ferrari versus McLaren. I feel like Hamilton and Leclerc will butt heads a few times. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see how that partnership plays out. So 33.855 there for Verstappen. Charles Leclerc is still out on a set of hards. Sainz also on a set of hards as well. So no one other than the Red Bull is really looking at the quali laps just yet. Seems that Bottas is the only driver to use the medium, so he's potentially saving a set of hards for the weekend. But yeah, Verstappen and Perez, the only drivers out there at the moment to be on lap. So we can see that Perez is slightly slower than Verstappen, understandably. Quite considerably slower. Let's see how he goes across the finish line. And he goes only third fastest on a set of softs compared to Carlos Sainz. Oh my days. Sergio Perez sets exactly the same time as Carlos Sainz on a set of hard compound tyres. But Sergio Perez there. Now, we don't know about battery and fuel loads and so forth, but I would suspect that he was trying to push on that lap there, and the fact that he's only P3 is a little worrying, really, for Red Bull. About 5 cars can slot in between that gap of... actually, I'd say probably maybe 8 cars can slot in between that gap. Sergio Perez is just set there between him and his teammate. F108 was such a fun time. Imagine if they had Netflix Drive to Survive, everyone could be bigger. Yeah. Yeah, we've missed out on some good content from back then, haven't we? Why does everyone think Verstappen going to fall off next season? I'm sorry, but why are you all so biased towards McLaren? There's no biasness towards McLaren. McLaren are the best team out there at the moment. Now, will Verstappen fall off? No, I don't think Verstappen has fallen off. You have to remember, and we've stated it numerous times on this channel, that an F1 driver is ultimately limited by the machinery underneath them. It is 80% of the car, 90% of the car. And if you don't have, doesn't matter how good of a driver you are, if you haven't got the pace in the car underneath you, then you're not going to win races. Now, that's not to say Max Verstappen's fallen off by any means. Max has done a very good job in winning some races this year, when arguably he was in a slower car than the McLaren. And Singapore last time out, he did very well in that car to finish second. Next year, if he falls off, Max himself won't fall off. The car and the team would have fallen off. And can't deny that there's been a downward trend in the performance of the Red Bull. And look, it's always good to see a new team and a new champion in F1. McLaren haven't won the title in 15 years. Is it 15 years? Yeah, 15 years, I think it is. 15 years, maybe. So that's a very long time for a team like a historic team like McLaren as well. We've had some very good. I mean, McLaren is probably my favourite team as well. My favourite driver in history is Mika Hakkinen. So I love Lewis Hamilton. I think he's a great driver and arguably the greatest of all time. However, Mika Hakkinen is who I grew up watching and just captivated me growing up watching F1. I'd love to get a Mika Hakkinen poster, but there's no decent ones out there, unfortunately. But yeah, so ultimately it's always fresh, good to have competition, and that's basically just what I want to see, competition. So, is it no faith in Red Bull or no faith in Verstappen? No faith in Red Bull. Yeah, Max definitely hasn't dropped off. Max definitely has. My pleasure, Arturo. I'm always here to give... I won't lie, I do have biasness. If you say that you don't have any sort of bias in sport, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to everyone. So I do have my favourites and my less favourites, shall we say. I don't hate anyone. But But yeah, there are certain drivers and teams that I do pull more for and than others, and I'll always try and give a assessment on it. Max so good he manages to score points and arguably the fourth fastest car. Exactly, Raven. So I think Red Bull's most dominant years were just the ones they weren't caught cheating. No. So I don't think... I still do subscribe to the idea that they benefited from overspend on the cost cap. I think... I mean, obviously there's been some clever accounting there, but I do think they benefited from that cost cap breach that they had in 2021. Was there a carryover of that into 2022? Potentially. But ultimately, they just outdeveloped everyone. The key factor will be this asymmetric braking device, really. It's whether or not, if that is a true device that they've been told to remove from their car, and whether it existed over the last few years. Because what made Red Bull so much quicker than everyone else in this new regulation set, when you look back at it, is that they were able to they were naturally quicker anyway, so they had a better developed car out of the box with this regulation set. That's undeniable. But what increased that deficit and why they were so dominant over the teams behind them is that they could go faster, longer on a set of tyres than any team around them. Ferrari could take it to them over a single lap, but they couldn't look after their tyres well. Whereas Red Bull just so good on their tyres, so they could go fast for longer. And is it because of a certain device within their car that they had to now remove, and now we're seeing a drop off in performance and seeing issues with the car that you would see from said device being removed? I'm just saying. So would it be beneficial for a team to pull off a one-stop here? Yes, if it works. The key factor here this weekend, Rory, is that it is a brand new track surface, so we don't know how the tyres are going to react. But we don't know. So it could completely throw previous strategies that we've seen in history at Circuit Americas out of the window. We've already seen numerous times here this season. We've already seen numerous times this season in F1 where teams have gone into the weekend or after practice sessions thinking that it's going to be a two-stop, but the one-stop actually is the preferred strategy because the tyres just haven't fallen off. So maybe that is the case here again this weekend. I don't think so, however, though, because Circuit Americas is a high-loaded circuit. There are lots of corners here, the S's in particular, through turn 13, through turn 15, like where Perez and Norris is going now. These are all corners that put a lot of load on the car, and it's potential with this new track surface that there could be more sliding that occurs with the tyre surface over the track, and that would degrade the tyre more. So yeah, we'll see. Newey's weekend involvement has been downplayed, and ever since he stepped back, they are unable to set up the car properly. I don't think it's anything to do with setup. I don't think really Newey had influence over that, but he definitely had influence over their development path. And if the rumours are to be accepted, Newey advised the engineers to go down a certain development path, and they didn't follow it. So now they're in a situation where they've obviously had a massive drop-off in performance compared to other teams. Alwyn and Colapinto in a sad place. Yeah, I mean, look, they've done long runs. They're the drivers who have been out there for the longest amount of time on a set of tyres. They've clearly been focusing on some long run data. Interesting still with Verstappen and Perez, the only drivers out there who have done times on the softs. So no doubt with 20 minutes remaining, we're going to see drivers dive into the pits and get some laps in, some quali laps in, of course, because this is our only practice session, guys. We have sprint qualifying coming up in a couple of hours' time. Hey, James! I'm very well, thank you. Yes, me. I'm doing well. The missus and the baby are doing brilliant. I just heard her crying, actually. So the baby has just woken up and clearly wants changed and fed. Sprint quali is at 10:30 UK time, so that is going to be 3 and a bit hours. So when FP1 finishes, it'll be 3 hours from then. Wilson doing great. Haven't driven a race in 1 year. Where is he? P9. Yeah, done very well. That's pretty good for him. That'll build up a lot of confidence in him if he's on the same pace as Yuki Tsunoda in FP1. Even though it is, of course, FP1, but that'd be a good confidence build for him. I'm a big fan of Lawson. I truly am. He should have been in the seat alongside Tsunoda at the start of the season. I know people are fans of Ricciardo, but he should have been in that seat this season already. Listen to people stress that one of the newest specialities was being a weekend race engineer. I think people were downplaying his involvement on the weekend. He was always there working. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Did he have that much influence on the setup? Yeah, maybe. Potentially. That guy at Kota T1 and SFL is misunderstood. How? How is he misunderstood? Raven, what did you say? It was so apparent that it is a thing that when Max breaks qualifying in Australia, then the performance massively in the next. It'll be 11 PM by the time S-Quali will start, so I'll have to miss out. No worries, Levy. Look, ultimately, at the end of the day, if you're going to miss sessions this weekend, guys, it would be the FP1 and the Sprint Quali. Of course, the weekend is where it's at, where we've got the Sprint race and then qualifying tomorrow for the race on Sunday. So, I appreciate every one of you tuning in, as always. If you could hit that like button, over 100 likes, big thank you. Of course, it's been 3 weeks since we had our last race at Singapore. It feels like we just came back, didn't we, from that summer break, and then we had another 3-week break. So yeah, 3 races ahead of us, and championship battle is truly on as it stands. Max and Perez are the only drivers to set times on the soft compound tyre, hence why they're first and second. Looks like Sainz is in the pits now, Lewis Hamilton as well. So we're going to see drivers, no doubt, come out on the soft compound tyre and do some quali runs, hopefully make things a bit exciting in this FP1 session. Hey Nicholas, what are Lando's chances? Very strong, I think. Very strong. But if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Actually, where is my sub count? Why is it not up there? There we go. 30,493. We're trying to hit 31,000 subs. So if you could... Oh, surely there's 7 more subscribers in here that could get us to 30,500. That would be much appreciated, guys. Much appreciated. Let's have a look. So Colapinto down in P20. What is Zhou Guanyu doing, by the way? Why is Zhou Guanyu been in the pits 3 times on softs? Interesting there from Zhou Guanyu. Liam Lawson into the pits, or is he out? Is coming out the pits? Lewis. Okay, so Lawson's in the pits. Charles Leclerc is in the pits. So let's. I want to have a look at the speed traps thus far, and well, as it currently stands, guys, Max Verstappen is 3rd fastest in the speed traps. Nico Hülkenberg is fastest at 205 miles an hour. Magnussen second with 203. Verstappen also 203. So the Ferraris and Verstappen are equal in the speed trap. It seems Russell and Hamilton slightly down on pace. Norris and Piastri, interestingly, at the bottom when it comes to speed traps. So maybe they're... Is that setup? Is that them running more fuel, not using the battery? Who knows? Who knows? But lots of drivers in the pits now, surely putting on softs to come in with just under 16 minutes remaining to do these quali runs. Hey, Bear. Bottas is in 8th. Do I think McLaren will be focused on the race pace and strategy? I hope they keep the recent pace up to pressure Red Bull. Yes, they will be. I mean, I think the McLaren is very well balanced at the moment. They, no doubt, they've got lots of new parts on the car here this weekend, so they're probably gathering data on that. Hence why they're not too fussed about being in the pits right now and doing a quali run. They've got plenty of time to dive in the pits and get out there and do that. But yeah, I mean, ultimately the race is won on Sunday. It's not won in qualifying, and this is a circuit where you can overtake. It's not a circuit where you can't do that. So no doubt McLaren think they've probably got the pace in their car, even if they didn't qualify on the front row, to get ahead of whoever lines up ahead of them. But of course, you want to be starting on the front row. You want to be in control of the race. And with a car like the McLaren, there's potential for Norris to just drive off into the distance again that we've seen in the last couple of races. Has Max Verstappen upgrade brought about any change? Not sure yet, Marius. Too early to say. Too early to say. So they've made the change to their... Hang on. Joe Guan Yu saying he's got a problem. No one kind of really cares. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just don't care about Stake F1 right now. Where was I at? I've lost my train of thought. Fuck it. Damn. Verstappen's change. Sorry, Verstappen's upgrades. Yeah, too early to say. They've made change to the floor, the side of the floor, and the wheel cover, the engine cover or something. So nothing too dramatic. Not as big of an update as what we thought they would bring. Whereas McLaren have brought a big one, so have Mercedes as well. Feels like forever since the last race. I know, TC. So many good dive bombing opportunities here. For what you don't have the image of the session. No, can't show any images of the session, of course, due to copyright issues. Will Colapinto beat Albon this season? Not in points overall, but he's doing a good job of staying with him, that's for sure. So he's got a good benchmark, Colapinto, and the fact of it, he's been able to perform as well as Albon. Very good for him, especially as he's... especially as it's only been... Well, he's joined halfway through the season, more than halfway through the season. FP1 timer at the top of your timing, at the top of your screen there, top left, that countdown, 13 minutes remaining. Drivers waiting, of course, for... No one's out there on the softs yet. Albon and Colapinto on the softs. Cool, cool. So we've got some drivers to keep an eye out on in regards to their lap times now. Hey, Charles Leclerc fan. I'm very well, thank you. You? Thanks, Jimmy. George Russell asking about the turn 9 exit, how they are running that curb, which is this one here. Interesting. So obviously looking at the limits to see exactly where time can be gained there by George Russell. Hope Norris will close the gap. Yeah, me too. Me too. I want there to be a championship fight. I'd love for it to go down to the last race of the season and for us to have something to be on the line come the last race of the season. That's what I want, primarily. So, thank you for the sub, much appreciated. Four more subs till 31k. Over 400 of you here in the stream. Thank you for tuning back. Of course, we have sprint quali coming up in a few hours' time. Just over 11 minutes remaining of this FP1 session. Currently, it's Verstappen and Perez in P1 and P2, but they aren't the only drivers out there to set a time on the softs at the moment. We do have Alex Albon, who is on the softs, as is Colapinto, and lots of drivers in the pit lane, but no doubt coming out with just over 10 minutes, just over 11 minutes remaining. No doubt they'll be getting some last minute quali runs in. So how about Alex Albon? He's going very slow through turn 12 there, so I think Alex Albon might have made a mistake through turn 12 and gone deep, maybe locked up into turn 12 at the end of the start-finish straight. And yeah, Alex Albon has had to bow out of this lap. So Alex Albon, a big knock-up, I assume, for him down into turn 12. Wow, he had a big wobble through the S's as well. He touched the grass and he nearly lost control of the car. But there we go. Everyone pretty much coming out on the soft compound tyre now, guys. Did I play any F1 games for PC? No, just proper sim racing swim. Yeah, I've tried the F1 games. I just can't get into them. Yeah, I mean, F1 24 I didn't even try. I tried F1 23, but yeah, just not really not my cup of tea. And Alex Albon, what did he do? Oh, yeah, he had a big snap of oversteer through the entry of turn 12. That's quite unique. That's a very weird snap of oversteer through turn 12. Maybe he got a big gust of wind. You don't normally see that. So that's why he had to bail out. Interesting. Can I shut up the volume of her voice, please? No, Nicholas. Mute the channel if that's what you want to do. There is a mute button. You can use it. Right, who is on the lap? Colapinto, where did he go? P5 for Colapinto, 35.2. Interesting from him. Obviously, quite a way off of Max Verstappen's time. Right, so anyone else there? While you're muting, learn to spell. Right, who's on the lap at the moment? I want to see. So the two Mercedes are out there at the moment on the soft compound tyre. So Lewis Hamilton, let's keep an eye out on him, shall we? He's in P19 in this FP1 session. Not been the cleanest for him. So he's going through turn 7 now and through the first sector. 25.5 for Lewis Hamilton. And that has only put him... That has put him P4 as it currently stands. So he's 3 temps off of Max Verstappen's first sector time as it currently stands. George Russell, where is he at the moment? Oh, George Russell had to bail out. What has George Russell done there? George Russell has had a big wobble through the first sector on this run and has had to bail out, it seems. Or is he on a... Yeah, he's definitely on... Is he on an outlap? No, he might be on an outlap. I really don't know. 37.68 there for Lewis Hamilton in the second sector, which puts him second fastest to Max Verstappen. Carlos Sainz a lot closer there to Max Verstappen in the first sector. Not purple at the moment. Not seeing any purples out there. Lewis Hamilton making his way through turn 19, navigating past Alex Albon. And let's see how he gets on through the last corner. Turn 20, of course, has to be wary of track limits. And he goes to P2. 4.5 temps slower than Max Verstappen. Wow. Wow. And of course, we don't know what battery mode. Oh, Lawson's gone fastest in the middle sector. What? Oh, only briefly, because Carlos Sainz has taken it away. So Carlos Sainz going quite pacey here as well. So let's see how he gets on. So George Russell actually was on his outlap. Apologies, guys. He didn't make a wobble for the first sector. But Liam Lawson, where's he going to go? P3, half a second back from Max Verstappen. Good from him, but how about Carlos Sainz? This looks like it's going to be the fastest lap of the race. Sorry, of FP1. And it is indeed a 33.6. The Ferraris have gone well here in the past at Circuit of the Americas. Charles Leclerc is on his lap now. Let's see how he gets on. Fernando Alonso ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So Lewis Hamilton, not a great lap from him. I didn't see the onboards. Maybe he had a slight little wobble somewhere. Ocon into P7. Max Verstappen is out on U-set, so take his lap times with a pinch of salt, guys. Pierre Gasly up into P5. Lance Stroll, how's he getting on? Lance Stroll, no, he's on. He's had to bow out of his lap, it seems. Alex Albon going for another one, going green down there in P19, 25.5 from him. Alex Albon in the top 10, by the way, for the first and second sector. So that Williams, no slouch, I don't think, here at Circuit of the Americas as he jumps up into P7. Got in behind Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson, 1 and a bit temps, well, nearly 2 temps faster than Alex Albon on his flying lap. That's intriguing, isn't it? So Charles Leclerc, 25.391, so he's third fastest. He's slightly slower than his teammate and Max Verstappen in the first sector. Let's see how he gets on through the second. A 37.4 from him puts him second fastest. So at the moment, the two Ferraris, and there's a VSC deployed. Oh, no. Charles Leclerc was on a flyer. No. Oh, that's disappointing. Why did they do that? Is that for them just to test out, or... Ah, that's a shame. Generally, would think Lewis could win this weekend. I think it's a tall order for them. I think they need some assistance, really. I think they need some assistance for that to happen. Oh, George Russell's really struggling through turn 1, by the way. Colapinto has to get a better seat. Yeah, where is he at the moment? P11, so he's not doing too shabby yet. Ah, it's a real shame. Why did they put the VSC out there? Surely that was just for a test, or maybe there was a bit of debris that they had to clear up. I'm not sure, but that's a shame. That's a shame. Charles Leclerc was on a flyer there. Oh. What happened? Oh no, it was Oscar Piastri. The Oscar Piastri. What happened there? I just saw something with Oscar Piastri. There was something to do with Piastri and the pit lane entry. I think he was going into... Was he going into the pit lane entry? He avoided an accident. I think he avoided a slow-moving car or something. So, what happened, Kader? I missed it. I just caught the bit after it. What's the weather forecast for the race this weekend? Good question. I'm not sure. Should we have a check? I'm going to guess it's either like monsoon weather, because it's Texas, isn't it? It's either monsoon weather or it's like super hot. I think it's forecast to be super hot this week. Circuit of the Americas weather. Yeah, it's dry all weekend. Yeah, dry all weekend. So. So Oscar Piastri basically entered the pit lane way too quickly and he had to take avoiding action. So I wonder if that'll be investigated. It hasn't been investigated at the moment, but it was quite a dangerous entry from Piastri. He's down in P17. But anyone else on a flying lap at the moment? Bottas is. George Russell finally gets a lap in, up into P7. Though he'd already had a wobble through turn 1, which caused him to bail out of his lap. So... Valtteri Bottas in the green tractor, the bright, luminous green tractor, doesn't improve as he goes, stays P15. Magnussen's going. Is Magnussen on the lap? It seems Magnussen's gone third fastest in the first sector. Magnussen's flying. Let's see how he gets on. Remember me, Jimmy Broadbent? Hopefully a much better looking Jimmy Broadbent. No, Jimmy's a top lad. I've never had the pleasure of meeting Jimmy, but Jimmy got me into sim racing indirectly because I discovered his YouTube channel when he was around 10,000 subscribers. I've been subscribed to him for quite some time, and I had no idea what iRacing was. No idea what it was. And yeah, he got me hooked. And I've been a subscriber of his ever since. So. And it's great to see him approaching 1 million subscribers. So, is Perez trying to crash? Is he trying to crash? I don't know. Where's Magnussen, by the way? Magnussen is going well. He's coming around the last corner. Magnussen's going very well, by the way. He's lost a bit of time in the middle sector. Third fastest, K-Mag. Piastri fastest in the middle sector, though. So, are we going to see the true pace of this McLaren? Oh, let's see. Let's see. But yeah, black and white flag there for Piastri. So that's like a warning flag for his pit entry, fouled pit entry, it seems. So let's see how he gets on, Piastri, as he heads through turn 19. I'm a West Ham fan. Come on, you Irons. Third fastest for Piastri. Okay, 3 attempts back of Sainz. That's interesting. He was fastest in the middle sector. Piastri was 14th fastest in the first sector, bearing in mind. And Norris is 15th fastest in the first sector. So, at the moment, the McLarens are not quick through the first sector. But that could be maybe by design. Maybe it's a setup issue, or maybe it's just them not wanting to push too much on the tyres. I don't know. But Charles Leclerc, look at that. Neck and neck between the two Ferrari teammates there, with Sainz and Leclerc. 200ths of a second just separating them in this. Oh, of course there's an incident involving Lance Stroll with Esteban Ocon. Safety car in front. Oh, what's safety car in front? Virtual safety. Did he overtake under the virtual safety car? Maybe that's what he did. You always thought the same. Stuffeyy is like JB2. Imagine Norris closes the championship gap and Perez pulls a crash gate to benefit Verstappen. Ugh. I mean, look, I don't think Red Bull would go to that length. I really don't think so. They have more in. I know people have strong opinions about Red Bull, and I do as well, but they have more integrity than that. So Norris only 4th fastest as well. Are McLaren sandbagging? I don't expect to see them 2-3 attempts back on the two Ferraris. But there we go, guys. Checkered flag. That is FP1 over and done with. It is the two Ferraris at the top of your timing sheets there. I don't believe anyone else is on a flying lap other than Valtteri Bottas, but we know he's not going to jump to the top of the timing sheets. Max Verstappen, P3. Norris, P4. Piastri, P5. Lewis Hamilton, P6. Magnussen, 7th. Alonso, 8th. Tsunoda, 9th. Hulkenberg, 10th. Gasly, 11th. Russell, 12th. Lawson, 13th. Albon, 14th. Stroll, 15th. Perez, 16th. Of course, he set his lap further back in the session. So do take Perez's time with a pinch of salt. He is slower than Max, but he's not that much slower. Ocon, 17th. Colapinto, 18th. And, of course, the two bright green tractors at the back there. Let's see, actually, Bottas on a flying lap. Let's see if he can improve. And, oh, he goes slightly ahead of Colapinto. So, yeah, that is it for FP1, guys. I'm here for quali. Of course I am, Connor. Of course I am. We'll be back in 3 hours' time for sprint quali. We watch this through Multiviewer. So big thank you to the guys at Multiviewer. But yeah, we'll be back in for sprint quali. We're back for the race tomorrow, and of course qualifying, and then the race on Sunday. If you watch live, TV went up to $15. Yeah, I mean you can't stream obviously footage because footage is copyright. You can't do that, but yes, F1 unfortunately is expensive now to watch live. So yeah, we've seen an increase in our watch-alongs and across the platform because of that. I'm good, Peter. Hope you're doing well. Iron Maiden fan too, Stuffeyy. Thinks the I'm not an Iron Maiden fan actually. No, not really my sort of music. So, is he a massive West Ham fan, or maybe I will take a bit more of an interest in Iron Maiden then. I ignored Russell. I didn't ignore Russell. I mentioned him down there in P7. Oh, he's actually got through. He went up to P7. Apologies. He was setting a lap there at the end. So George Russell up into P7. But yeah, Russell was complaining a lot on the radio. He's not happy about the car. And a spin at turn 1, or another wobble through turn 1. He's not happy. He's got lots of complaints on the radio from George Russell, so we'll see. Best luck to all teams. Yeah, Max and Perez gap. My God. Yeah, I mean, I said that you could fit 8 cars in between Perez and Verstappen's gap that he set earlier on. I was wrong. You can fit 13 cars between Perez and Verstappen's gap. Jeez. I was in Now TV and now can't watch live F1. Yeah, well, look, we provide... You've got a great community going on here, Connor, with everyone who is in the chat. We've got, of course, my commentary as well throughout the duration of the weekend. I do get more commentator type mode. The practice sessions allow me to have a bit more of a discussion. But when it comes to quali and the races, I do go into my commentator mode. And then, of course, we discuss F1 and discuss what happens after the sessions as well. I don't just end the race and that's it, log off. I love F1 and I love having a bit of back and forth. You don't get to have that on when you're watching it on TV, you know? So, of course, the Evo looks pretty good. Yeah, it would have been good to see some open wheel action though. We only saw tin tops, but yeah, it looked pretty decent CD, especially for an alpha. That's the thing you have to remember, is that was an alpha version. So yeah, it's in good shape, Seto Evo. Sure as an Iron Maiden West Ham kit somewhere. Oh, after look at just tune in. What, Ferrari? Let's go. I know. It is on the FP1 though, so we don't know fuel loads. We don't know. No doubt teams will probably make some setup changes for the sprint race. Of course, they're able to change their setup. Oh, they're able to change their setup after the sprint race on Saturday between the qualifying session, so that they're locked in for the race on Sunday. So yeah, we will see if who will come out top for the sprint race tomorrow. Every point matters in this championship. If you don't think the sprint race matters tomorrow, guys, oh, it does, especially for Lando Norris and Max Verstappen, because potentially there's more points on offer for Norris to close in on Max Verstappen's championship lead. I do, Connor, yes. Yeah, I do. I do that to I kind of use it as a supporting element to show replay, so that I can describe to you up and down on circuit. I use it as kind of like a replay tool. So, no sandbags. The upgrades are working in the other teams. Maybe Maybe we'll see Cebu when it comes to qualifying in a few hours' time. So if you're unaware of when the sprint quali starts, let me just remind myself. I believe it is 10:30 UK time. Of course, you have to work out your own time zones. Yes, 10:30 UK time. So I will be live 15 minutes before quali starts, guys, as I was for this FP1 session. So yeah. Around about just under 3 hours now is when sprint quali will start, so we'll be back for then. But yeah, big thank you for everyone tuning in after this 3-week break. If you could hit that like and subscribe button, and we've got over 150 likes. Big thank you. And over 30,500 subs now. Cheers, guys, much appreciated. But yes, I'm now going to go set up the stream for the sprint quali. Of course, this is the only practice session that we have. Thank you for the sub there, guys. Roberto, much appreciated. 84 Jarek, appreciated. Pillbeam, of course, became a member earlier, and anyone else who has subscribed in the meantime, big thank you. But yeah, this is their only practice session that we have today here, guys. So we will see who comes out on top in sprint quali in a few hours' time. Back in 2007 with Turisca, did you think Kimi would win it? Or in 2021 with 5 laps to go, what is your surprise? Yeah, I didn't think Kimi would win it in 2007. Going into that race. 2021, my biggest surprise in F1. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been as shocked watching an F1 race, especially when it came to a championship, than I have been in 2021. And I think a lot of people will probably say that for many a reason. I won't go back over it of the reason why, but yeah, in my history of watching F1, I'm sure if people have watched like Prost and Senna and so forth, that's probably more shocking to them, or Hill and Schumacher in Adelaide. But yeah, I wasn't watching F1 then. I was too young, or I wasn't born. But yeah, 2021 is kind of the thing that I can think of off the top of my head, really. But yeah, shot me maybe. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. So you got model line down the road, is it? Nice, Peter. Well, yes, guys. That is it for this FP1 session. Big thank you for tuning in as always. Much appreciated. One last time for the subs and the likes. We'll be back in a few hours' time. Go head over. I'm going to go set that stream up now. You can go wait in there and chat amongst yourselves. And we'll be back for sprint quali. Who's going to come out on top? Interesting weekend ahead of us, guys. So I went watching F1 before I was born. I know, right? I know. But yeah, see you then, guys. Bye.